Hypnotherapy myth number 2. You need to use language patterns and confusion techniques in order to get your client into deep trance. The reason why this doesn't work is because each client is an individual. Each client has an individual problem that is unique to them. So when you're trying to use a technique on your client, you're missing the bigger picture. The bigger picture is them telling you what the problem is and sharing all of the emotion around what and why they're dealing with their issue. It is through that information that your client is giving you that you're going to pick up on very specific information that is going to lead you to guiding your client in a better way so that they can solve their own problems. Without the need for language patterns and confusion techniques, you are always going to be asking the right question. There are no wrong questions when you work with your clients in this way. The reason is because you're only asking them questions based on what they tell you. There's no way that you could possibly prepare for a session with your client with all these techniques before you even hear what the client believes their problem is in the first place. The only thing that we do in a session with a client is we avoid solving questions. Asking them to solve their own problems is pretty futile. The reason is because if they knew how to solve their problem, they wouldn't need you in the first place. They wouldn't have come to you asking you to help them get rid of this problem that they've had for 2 months, a year, 15, 30 years. They would have solved it already. When you try to use confusion techniques, there is a chance that you run the risk of bringing the client from an unconscious moment, which is where you need them to be, to a conscious moment. Clients cannot solve their problem from the conscious perspective. They have to go deep to understand where the problem came in the first place, how it came about, and also to understand that there's usually conflict between that belief and what they know on a conscious level. A really great way to get your client into an unconscious moment is to ask the questions that nobody will ever ask. And those are the hard questions. They're questions like, do you really want to be with this person? Are you sure that that is what you want to do? Do you really want to quit your job? Do you really want to keep your job? These are very hard questions for a client to answer. And it usually will bring up a lot of emotion, and emotions are unconscious moments. This helps to blow the client's false reality apart, because when they're living in that false reality, that's where the challenges and the conflicts come from their conscious to unconscious mind. When you ask the hard questions that nobody else will ask, you stimulate a big unconscious moment, and that is exactly where you want your client to be. So when you're not relying on techniques and scripts and recordings, and you're just going with what the client is telling you, what you're looking for every single time with your client is that they have more options when they're going to leave than they did when they came in your door or on your computer screen. When your clients have more options, then they have a better chance at solving their own problem. And it doesn't have to be right now in the session. It doesn't have to be 10 minutes after the session. Every client processes in their own way at their own pace. And because now they have more options, now they can find more resources to find a better solution for the problem that they came in with. So when they leave, while they're processing, they're going to be able to figure out what things work for them and what things don't work for them in order to get the solution that they're looking for. And this is why with ACH clients, your clients have huge outcomes, usually multiple outcomes, where the solutions that they find for their problem also benefit them in many areas of their life. Relationships, finance, whatever. It usually changes their life. And this is the transformation that we're really excited about with ACH. And it's what our clients rave about when they're giving us testimonials.